To Hampden Park, it's the CIS Insurance Cup semi-final. Celtic lead Rangers by 2-1 at half-time. Andy Walker, it's hotting up nicely.
Oh, it's excellent. It's been great entertainment, but I must say a very controversial penalty decision in my view.
Well, we'll have a look at that later. Trevor, Rangers coming back into the game towards the end of that first half.
Yeah, they had the worst possible starts, and Celtic had the best possible start, if you want. But they got back into it at the right time. I think they'd be disappointed that half-time came round when it did.
Let's have a look at the opening goal for Celtic, Andy. It came from a free kick. Thompson, he swings these in, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a great delivery, and Vega out-jumping everyone, and I love that finish because it's very composed. He's got a tight ankle on it and just stroked it into the net, and Chris Sutton very alive to anything that might come back to him.
You couldn't blame the defence there, Trevor?
Well, Vega's got up really early, and Flo's not being able to get up and compete. He'd be disappointed with what he did there and under the challenge, but good finishes, Andy says.
What about the second Celtic goal? Young Robert Malcolm, it's his first Old Firm game.
Yeah.
He's up against Larsson here, doesn't cope with it that well.
Yeah, it's all about decision making there, and a lot of that comes with experience, and Robert Malcolm hasn't got the experience. And when you've got Larsson breathing down your neck, you know, you do have to make a decision quick, and he didn't make it and paid the penalty.
And at that point, Andy, it was all Celtic.
It was. They made the best possible start you could get in an Old Firm game, and it looked as though they were going to score every time they went up the park. They were completely dominant.
But after about half an hour, Trevor, Rangers started coming back into this game.
They did. They started to play the ball around the midfield, and I thought, you know, the three central midfield players I thought for Celtic played particularly well early on. But eventually, Rangers got themselves into it, started to play. Obviously, had to get some spark from somewhere, being 2 goals down. Eventually, got it, and then they got the rub of the green, if you want. You know, with the penalty award. And
they started piling the pressure onto Jonathan Gould in the Celtic goal. He hasn't played that often recently, and he just flapped a little here at this Reina cross.
Well, he did. Reina hadn't really had the opportunity to get down there on the right-hand side, but that was the first time he did, and it was a good ball in. A difficult swirling cross, if you want, and but Gould cleared his danger.
Now, Andy, you were talking earlier about the penalty incident. Talk us through this. You think it's soft?
Well, it's just not a penalty, is it? I think it's possibly one of the softest I've ever seen, and don't understand why he's given it. I know there's a lot of bodies in there, and we do get a camera angle where Chris Sutton's hand is just wrapped around his body and the ball's hit him. I can't understand why he would give it. That's just the wrong decision.
Trevor?
I'd have to say it was very, very soft. Willie Young had a good view of it, but there wasn't a great deal to see, and certainly nothing that I thought was deliberate. Having said that, George Alberts has wrapped up the penalty very nicely indeed under a lot of pressure. And
it's really given Rangers a chance. They got them right back into this game. It's given them some impetus now.
Absolutely. Sometimes that's what you need in an Old Firm match. And it started to head up from there. We began to see a few tackles, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the second half, because the start of it may well dictate how it's going to go on. Yeah, OK. We know there was some trouble towards the end of the first half. We'll update you on that very shortly. Quick break here, though. Live second half action to come. Don't go away.